11.3 experimental and theoretical probability. I can calculate experimental and theoretical probability.
All right, so experimental probability. Give me another name on the count of 3 for experimental probability. 1, 2, 3.
Relative frequency.
And give me another name for theoretical probability on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Probability.
Excellent. So probability is theoretical probability. Experimental probability is relative frequency. What's a trial? Someone tell me what a trial is. What's a trial, Luke?
Whenever you do an experiment.
So if I flip a coin 50 times,
Trials.
that would be 50 trials. Excellent. The formula for theoretical probability is the exact same formula for probability. It is favorable outcomes, if we're going to like limit it or narrow it down or shorten it, I guess, over possible. Favorable outcomes over possible. What is favorable? Somebody tell me what favorable means. What take?
The outcomes that you want.
The thing you're looking for, right? Not necessarily what you want, but what you're looking for. All right, on the count of 3, I need you to read off what experimental probability is as a group together. 1, 2, 3.
Number of times an event happens over number of trials.
Excellent. So when we're comparing experimental probability to theoretical probability, which one is the thing that should happen?
Theoretical.
Say again?
Theoretical.
And what is the thing that did happen?
Experimental.
So in order to know experimental probability, you actually have to do something. Okay. Number 2, this is an example, at least number 4 is an example of theoretical probability because we just asked what you think will happen. What should happen if you spun that spinner? What would happen if you got a 2? What would happen if you got a B or a 1? Okay. Number 5, we did in class, in which I gave you all a number cube, and we wanted to figure out the experimental probability of getting a 2 on the number cube. So if you look at our data here, Martin's group did it 20 times. They did 20 trials. How many times did they get a 2?
5.
Sonoda's group actually did 37 trials. How many times did they get a 2?
8.
Tate's group did 14 trials. How many times did they get a 2?
0.
0. So on and so forth. We then converted all these numbers to rounded to the nearest 100th decimals. Yes, no?
Yeah.
And then down below, I asked asked y'all what group was closest to the theoretical probability of a 2, and how do you know? We figured out the theoretical probability of rolling a 2 is 1700ths rounded, right? And the group that was closest to 1700ths from above is which group? Luke's group, and they were at what, 1900ths? Luke's group. Can you just look at these Sedona, eyeball them, and say, well, Luke's group looks the closest because 7 over 36 is really close to 6 over 36, and 6 over 36 is like 1 over 6? Can you do that or not?
No.
You can, but you might get it wrong, right? And again, I'm not kidding you when I said in block 3 we did that, and I agreed with them, and we ended up being the one that we thought was the closest was actually the third closest. So you got to get it into some sort of similar form. Fractions, common denominators, or decimals or percents. And then the last thing we did is we took all of our experiments for rolling a number cube, and we found out that if we combine the entire class, we got a 2 46 times, right? And we did how many trials?
258.
And that became 178 thousandths, rounded to the nearest thousand. Is that closer than any of the other groups?
Yes.
So we concluded that what? What did we conclude then? Somebody tell me what the conclusion is. What is the conclusion? Connor?
The more trials you do, the closer you will get to theoretical probability.
The more trials you do in experimental probability, the closer you'll get to the theoretical probability.